Okay, I see here there is Aji Samudra. Hi Aji, you there?
Hello, Aji!
Yeah, picking the audience in a Zoom call is always different, right? Compared to like physical, because you don't see the person. Oh, we have people from all over the world coming into the room here. Okay. Maybe like opinion on this event, like what are you guys looking for? Maybe any volunteers?
I'll be a volunteer. Can I volunteer first?
Okay, sir, sure.
All right. I'm here more about like how data science works because it's kind of a mystery. We see it a lot in the media. We see it a lot on press, and there's almost like this black magic around data science. So I would actually like to understand what I can use data science for in a practical way.
I see. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing, sir. Because good thing that we have a lot of amazing speakers to tell us how to do that exactly. Okay, because it's already 18:03 Jakarta time plus GMT +7. We will start our event. So if everybody can see my screen already, thank you very much for coming. Good evening from Jakarta. Actually, I'm from Yogyakarta, but good evening from Yogyakarta. My name is Fitiscu, and today we're gonna have a discussion about data science making the world better. This event is hosted by Bukit Vista with different co-hosts, such as DSC from AIKTC, DSC from ITB, and also DSC from MUM. So we have several speakers and we will introduce them shortly after this. But first, let's start with the event. So Bukit Vista is a company that has different objectives, and particularly we are really interested in keeping the delight. We invite industry experts at leading companies, and we have live Q&A question. And as an audience, you can engage live during the event and also ask questions about topics through Slido. And for this event, I believe maybe someone can help me to drop the link in the chat box so that our audience here can fill in their questions, things that they really want to ask to our speakers. And then I will stir up the debate and passionate discussion. And don't worry, this debate will not be like an unhealthy, but this will be a healthy debate where great minds here that we have in the panel discuss about different things regarding data science. And also, don't forget that after this event, we will have a post-meeting huddle where you guys can actually speak with our speakers or panelists. Also, maybe with our co-hosts from DSCs. Then, we also aim to inspire people to solve real-world problems. I came from a computer science background, and in university, I realized that some stuff are, of course, some hard skills are really important, but some other times we actually have to meet these professionals and network to know what the industry is really like and what the real world is really like. And we also aim to inspire experts to share their most authentic moments with the next generation. And finally, we also inspire students to intern at Bukit Vista, join the DSC ITB, DSC AIKTC, and also DSC MUM. Okay, this is the format of the event. We have interaction with our host and co-host, moderator, speakers. Then second, we have a moderated discussion with the panelists. Third, we have closing and surveys. And fourth, we have post-event huddle. Okay, maybe to our host, Mr. Jing. I will give you time to introduce yourself, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vinny, for bringing me here. Today, I'm not really the host. Vinny is taking care of most of the show, but I am I'm the CEO of Bukit Vista. Not too much about me. Anyways, I started Bukit Vista a few years back. I studied at UC Berkeley, I was formerly an engineer, but these days I'm more of a hospitality founder, I guess. Previously, I worked at Airbnb and also a company called Aman Resorts, which is a luxury boutique hotel brand. And as a fun fact, once upon a time, I danced with Hrithik Roshan, and I swear I ride Doom 2. So that's my little fun fact.
Yep, and still we're still waiting for that movie to be shared, right, sir?
Well, it's on YouTube. If you want to see it, and maybe later at the huddle, show members who want to hang out of the movie so that they can see it for themselves.
So this is Bukit Vista's mission. And would you like to read the mission, sir, of the company?
Oh yeah, of course. Thank you, Vinny. So our mission is to inspire delight through hospitality innovations that positively transform our guests, our partners, and our employees. And the act of being here today is actually part of our mission. So we believe that by bringing together experts and people who are seeking knowledge and are curious, we can help inspire, delight, and positively transform you. So yeah, that's what we do on a everyday basis.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction, Mr. Jing. And look at all these pictures. These are all properties that Bukit Vista hosts and that Bukit Vista manage, basically. And we have different properties all across Bali, and also we have properties in Yogyakarta. With our partners, we're trying to inspire delights to everybody, especially through the hospitality industry. Okay, so unfortunately, we have our co-host here. Without our co-host, we wouldn't be able to create this amazing event. We have DSC MUM, we have DSC ITB, and also DSC AIKTC. And maybe I'll let them introduce themselves, starting from DSC ITB.
Hi.
Hi, Jocelyn.
Hello. Hi. I okay. I am Jessie Natania from the Elite Chapter, Bandung Institute of Technology, Indonesia. So here are 10 of my core teams that work together with me behind the screen to organize event, decide. Sorry, is my voice clear?
Yep, it is.
Okay. Okay, so here are my 10 of my core teams that work together with me to organize events behind the screen at from the SCITB. And here are the contacts of the SCITB ITB that you can get into if you want to know about our information. And up until now, we have organized around 4 events that are mainly about Git version control and data science. And the most unique one is that we have our own GitHub organization platform, and our members, for every hands-on, they can post any project that they have done on hands-on. Okay, I think that's all for my introduction about DSC ITB. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DSC ITB. And be sure to check them out. Next, we will have DSC Malaysia, MUM.
Hi everyone, hope you guys are keeping well and safe during this pandemic. My name is Sajid, the current DSC lead from Monash University, Malaysia. I'm currently a second year student studying computer science, and I'm specializing in data science as well. A brief intro into our club. We started back in 2019 with the primary goal of bridging the gap between theory and practice. So in achieving these goals, we have had many events and workshops in the past. And in the next slide, we can see that we have planned a few events such as the Cloud Study Jam, Explore Machine Learning, and other events that are in the planning phase as well. The links to our clubs are there in the slides. I will be posting them in the chat. To conclude, I would like to say that I'm excited to be collaborating with Bukit Vista along with my fellow DSCs as well, and hope everyone enjoys this wonderful discussion on data science. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sajid. And also, please check their link out. I believe Sajid will drop the link in the chat box in the Zoom chat box. So thank you very much, Sajid. Next, we will have DSC AI KTC to Janvi.
Hello everyone, my name is Janvi Karya and I'm current DSA lead of AI KTC. And also the motto behind the club, of DSC AI KTC is to inspire young minds and also to inspire our peers to become industry ready. And the motto of the DSC is just to connect with each other, learn new technologies, explore it and grow together. So yeah, that's all about the SCAI KTC. And in the next slide, I have added my links to connect with us, and our past events are still going on. Like we're working on few more events currently, but till date we have done 2 events. And also I'll post all these links in the chat box. So yeah, that's all about the SCAI KTC. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Janvi. Be sure to check the SCI KTC's links to reach out to them, and also maybe you got the chance to like collaborate with all the amazing students from the SCs. So yeah, thank you to the SCs as our co-host. Next, we will do, I will formally introduce myself finally. Good evening from Yogyakarta, everyone. My name is Fidescu, and I'm a part of the business intelligence and also internal tools team from Bukit Vista. I went to University Gajah Mada. I took computer science major in 2016, and I graduated last year in 2019. And I worked at the laboratory in UGM. I worked for Center for Digital Society, and I also did a lot of freelance projects in data science and also software engineering. Fun fact, I actually went to Japan for student exchange program, and that's actually where I was taught machine learning first time, particularly in convolutional neural network. So enough about me. I believe you guys are already excited for our speakers. First, we have Bayu Stiawan. Mr. Bayu, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, Vidi, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Bayu. So currently what I do is I'm the CTO at Bukit Vista. So this is actually the little bit fact about me, where it's actually fun fact most of the time, because I'm the opposite of Jing. Jing goes to technical school, where I'm not. I'm not coming from a technical background, but yet I'm the CTO. Jing actually just appointed me. Why that happened actually? So I think I have in the company I have the advantage to be able to see the things like technologies as tool. So instead of a toy, right? Because I'm not studying technology, so I'm not playing around with that toy. So if I cannot understand it and it's I don't like it and doesn't give me any benefit, so I will stay away from there. So I think that has helped me in Bukit Vista, that every technology that we adopt in Bukit Vista have a clear purpose on the business side. So that's a little bit about me, Vidi. Back to you.
Thank you very much. That's really inspirational, Kabayu. Next, we will have Mr. Alamsyah. Mr. Alamsyah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Hi, CD. Yeah, hello all. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alamsyah Kotohanza. Currently, I'm working as a data scientist at Gojek. I went to Indonesia University, in mathematics major. And currently, maybe the fun fact about me, currently I organize one community, Data Science Indonesia, in Indonesia, obviously. So you can join us in our community at datascience.org.id. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you, PD.
Thank you, Mr. Alamsyah. Right, be sure to check the community that Mr. Alamsyah have founded, maybe or organized. And maybe next we have Mr. Sid, Mr. Siddhartha. On to you, sir.
Hey, hello everyone. Hey, yeah, everyone can call me Sid. I know I have a very long name. So I work as a data scientist at Carousell, which is a C2C marketplace in Southeast Asia with markets in like Singapore, uh, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Primarily, we are focusing in these markets, although we are spread across 8 different countries. I went to school at Penn State a few years back, where I did my PhD. After that, I worked at Yahoo, more recently at Traveloka, and just joined Carousel a few months ago. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. Really looking forward to the discussion. Or regarding like fun fact, I guess one fun fact is about 8 to 10 years ago, when I was like finishing up my undergraduate studies, I hated programming a lot. And now I write code every hour of my day. So it's like very unique how things have changed over like the past many years. But now I thoroughly enjoy it, solving problems using computer programs and understanding how the data works. So yeah, that's one fun fact. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Siddhartha. I think a lot of programmers can relate to that experience. So next, we have Miss Sharmili. Would you please introduce yourself, Miss?
Hello, hi, this is Sharmili. I'm currently a principal data scientist at Tokopedia. I'm based out of Singapore. So me and my team in Jakarta are handling various projects across computer vision, natural language processing, and traditional machine learning and data science to make experience at Tokopedia better. Before Tokopedia, I worked in another startup, very early stage startup, which was focusing on generating ads using AI. So imagine that you are probably trying to buy some exercising equipment, and you are like a travel person. Then the ads will look like exercise equipments on a beach or things like that. So basically, cool personalized ads using AI. So that was what I was doing before this. And even before that, I did a PhD in National University of Singapore and a couple of postdocs at various universities in Singapore. So hopefully we'll have a interesting discussion over here. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Shamili. Yep, amazing resume from all of our speakers, and of course, I know that all of the audience here are eager to listen to the discussion that we're going to have. So, without further ado, let's start with. Don't forget that we have a page in Slido with hashtag BVE Talk 8, BV with a hyphen, and add your topics. Upvote the topics that interest you guys, and for sure, we will discuss it in the Q&A session. So, first question, how can machine learning be involved in predicting when will this pandemic end? I think this question is very relevant to everyone right now, and maybe a lot of our audience are wondering how is machine learning involved in this pandemic, and maybe can machine learning stop the next pandemic or predict at least so we're more ready? Maybe we'll start from Ms. Sharmili to start.
Okay, this one this one is really hard. I know this is the hottest topic right now, like how can we predict when this pandemic will end? But honestly, I do not think that at this point, machine learning is capable enough to predict when this pandemic will end. But what, on the other hand, data science can do is actually help policymakers to find where will come, or which are the populations which are most vulnerable to the disease, or what kind of policies will slow down probably the spread of virus, because we have data for that. And what we don't have experience is external factors such as new policies which are arising in the middle of the pandemic, or new findings, new interim medicines or vaccines which are showing promise. All of that has a significant impact on this whole process and on predicting when this pandemic could potentially end. So I feel that probably data science is not well equipped to predict the ending, like the date when, or roughly the estimate of when it's going to end, but it can actually help in developing tools or models to curb it or maybe predict next bubbles where the virus can spread, or even I'm sure during the vaccine research or while making these policies, data science is being used everywhere for coming up with decisions and doing all this kind of research. So I think data science has a role in this pandemic, but maybe not for actually predicting the end, but actually assisting in curbing the spread until we find the end.
Yeah, because it's really interesting. When the pandemic started, actually in Indonesia, a lot of data scientists, mathematicians from universities produce models to project like when the pandemic is going to end. But I believe the model, the prediction has long passed. I believe they predicted around July or August, and a lot of people are starting to wonder, um, is data science failing in in this process? Or maybe Mr. Sid can introduce us. Like, do you have any visibility on why these predictions didn't work and what can't data science do?
Sure, yeah. First of all, I completely echo with whatever Sharmili just mentioned. And probably this is something data science should not try to do, like predicting when this pandemic will end. But Vidi, I think you raised a very good point about a lot of people sharing their models, their sort of plots on different social media, saying that, okay, this is our group and we have come up with a model that can predict when this pandemic will end. And based on all those predictions, I remember that people used to think that by July or August, we would be done with this pandemic. And we are nowhere close to that yet. So I think this is definitely something which we can learn from, like the problems we can tackle and learning around that. Those are they'll use some sort of like a curve fitting approach. Like you'll see the first few weeks of data, how things have evolved. In some cases, maybe because of the drastic lockdown measures that countries had come up with. The number of daily cases, and based on that, that was used for the product, like the prediction of the future a few weeks into the future, and that kind of showed that, okay, it's trending downwards, and as a result we would be done with this pandemic in the next few weeks. But then situations change. Those models do not take into account all how long can you actually use this sort of a lockdown? Is it a permanent measure, or you have to open certain things up? If you open certain things, models won't stand because you are assuming certain things when you are creating those models. So as a result, these models are bound to fail, and they did. But then going back, I think one of the important things to learn from this exercise is not try to predict when this pandemic will end. Mentioned about like the policies, I think data science is used heavily now on vaccine development, like reducing the iteration in the down so that I think we can definitely make use of.
Well, I've heard people data science actually mentioned that okay, it failed because this time this COVID-19 is different from any other pandemic we know, for example. And by experiencing this pandemic, data scientists can actually collect data and predict in the future where another pandemic will come. What do you think, Mr. Alam Shah? Do you have any perspective on that aspect?
Can't hear. Yeah.
But sure. already, or there are?
Okay. In a data scientist can do this or can do that. I don't want to say that. Maybe probably I will in terms of the model itself. Uh, Different pandemic, there will be a different pattern. There will be a different behavior that you can get from the data that you have. Even though, let's say, God forbid, but let's say we have another pandemic like in the not really sure because we do have a pandemic in the past, right? Like black yeah, other pandemic has happened in the past, and even though we do have that kind, even though we have that kind of data about the pandemic, we still cannot predict what happened right now. It depends on the behavior of the person. For everyone, how's their behavior, and also how's the treatment that happened, and also even the data that we have right now. Not I don't think it's really a clean one. Maybe there are some other data that cannot be caught, let's say. So yeah, I don't think for in my perspective, as data scientist who working on the model, I don't think model can predict the behavior of the pandemic correctly. Yeah.
I see. So too much variable, right, Mr. Alamsyah?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe we'll move to like Kabayu, right? Kabayu, I understand that your background is software engineering, but do you have any like perspective on maybe what you imagine data science could do or to help with this pandemic situation?
Yeah, I think I completely agree with all the speakers here. The main problem is the factors that affecting this the trend, basically, right? For example, we have a more classic case, basically, that we have, and we have more data, and it's actually real data that we still cannot predict. Like stock market price, for example, we have that data a lot, right? Like from the 90s, from the 80s, and then there's some economic market crash, things like that. We have all of this data, but until today, there's already prediction out there, but we cannot really rely on that 100%, right? I'm thinking, in my personal opinion, is that that's because the human factor there. We cannot really predict how human will react to something, right? Market price is stock market price will be affected by the emotion of the people. Some companies could have a bad performance, but then people still like it, and then the stock market still high. I think it would be similar to these pandemic situation. We can say that probably, oh yeah, all the government are locking down cities and then banning travel. This will make sure that the spread will be decreasing. That's all theory, right? But we don't know how people will react when we locked a city down. Then probably people will do something else to find entertainment, maybe, right? Because people are bored. So I think that's what's causing that is very difficult to predict when the pandemic is going to be over. But I think there's a possibility that maybe in the future we could predict things like this when we have enough data points to be tracked, basically how people will react to this, how people will react to that. Maybe if we can predict how people will react, then probably we will able to predict how the pandemic will be over. But I think for now we don't have a good example for that yet.
Yeah, thank you, Gobayu. Yeah, actually, Sid mentioned in the chat box, a model can predict the end once the data shows that most people X% have been vaccinated. Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit? Because it actually caught my eye.
That was a joke. I mean, when we have all the facts, models can predict certain things with very high confidence. But
Yes.
when we do not have the facts, it's super difficult. And we have a lot of unknowns on this pandemic, right? Like we don't know how the virus is mutating, for example. We are assuming a lot of things. And in every country. So it's very, very difficult to say.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I completely agree. Like, I believe there is this, I can't remember the movie, but I think it was Sherlock, the TV series, but he mentioned that if we have, theoretically, if we have all the information in the universe, we know all the parameters, we can kind of like predict everything. But since we are limited by physical understanding of all the data, then that's why it's very difficult to predict some stuff. And actually, Kabayu also mentioned about a little bit about finance just now, about the economy. And the second topic we have here by DSC ITB is related to that. ML, machine learning, using big data, is really good at forecasting. But how can it help in supporting decisions, especially in global economic recession? So we're seeing all these prediction models to predict recession, when will it boom, and so on and so forth, just like what Bayu mentioned, the stock market. But sometimes what's difficult is the actionables, right? How do you explain the model and what to do about the model? Maybe Ms. Sharmili can share a little bit about that.
So actually, nowadays there is a lot of research in ML explainability going on as well. So there are tools available now which can kind of explain why ML model is predicting the way it is doing. So if we can use those tools to understand what are the factors which are actually dominating this kind of prediction forecasting, then we can actually emphasize and try to play with those features so as to, you basically use those cues to make decisions or some kind of policies which will affect those input factors, which in turn will then kind of change or alter the forecast that the model may be trying to do. So that is one possible way of understanding why ML is working the way it is working and how we can use information from ML to change the behavior. So yeah.
Yep. So just now you mentioned, Ms. Shamili, that we can have show us information and we can create actions, right? Our policies to improve something. But maybe in your practice, how do you use machine learning to actually provide us with suggestion? Like maybe a lot of people who think can do like what Google can do suggestions. Oh, maybe searching for this. And we don't know about the in the moment, state of the art technology, but are there any technologies that are able to like, this is the projection, do this, do that to get the optimum solution?
So are you talking about like things like recommendation or
recommendation system? Yeah.
I mean, recommendation systems is one thing, but usually nowadays there's a lot of push in actually building models which are more explainable. I spoke about some tools which are available for explainability, but whenever we are designing something, we try to break it down in such a way that later on when we ask the question that why you think the model is behaving the way it is, we as data scientists should have some answers, right? So if we have a bigger problem to solve which has a lot of complicated stuff or a lot of features going in, we try to break the problem down into smaller pieces and try to solve the independent pieces first before actually building a more complicated solution. That kind of gives us some insights on the way our systems behave and also gives us some flexibility on explaining why the system is doing what it's doing. So for example, just to give an example, like, for example, at Tokopedia, let's say a merchant is just trying to upload some products on the platform, and we want the merchant's product to be sold. So we would like to give them some effective feedback in the sense that, you know, maybe we think that if you improve the image of the product, to do kind of thing, we need to individual components that work together and are, you know, generate items that a user can actually implement. So yeah,
see.
I
Yeah.
guess yeah.
Yeah, because in marketplaces, even in the platform that Bukit Vista is using, Airbnb, right? They're giving suggestions. I'm wondering, like, what kind of model do these data scientists use to create an explainable system? For example, I know that neural networks are mostly black box, right? And but recently there are a lot of research on that, such as a Lime. Maybe there are explainer system, but most of the time people use decision tree to like create an explainable model. So maybe Mr. Sid, do you work at Carousell? Do you have any visibility on that kind of system? And maybe you can share to us like the intuition of how to explain such model.
Sure, yeah. I mean, at Carousel, because it's a C2C marketplace, I think an important factor, what makes a C2C marketplace unique is the ability to ensure trust and safety on the platform. There is buyer experience, there is seller experience, but then if the trust and safety is compromised on a C2C, is one of the biggest concerns. We do have a lot of models to ensure that we are able to detect a lot of listings or users who are trying to do some sort of fraud on the system, or trying to scam other users in some way, or even the quality of the listings. For example, are you uploading a duplicate listing? Because that is shown in search results. So our ability of the models to automatically identify those, for example, a duplicate listing, and then actually automatically alert the user who's uploading the system that this is a duplicate. And why is it a duplicate? Because we think that this listing and the other listing that you have on your profile are exactly the same thing. So kind of giving you a notion of explainability in the sense that's user facing, but the model internally is trying to figure out that there is a similarity from the image, or a similarity from the text that you are using or the price that you are using. So based on these signals, coming up with this notion of explainability that you can actually direct a user to not upload a listing and make sure that this marketplace continues to serve in the best interests of all the users. So we do have many other similar use cases of explainable systems, and I think like everyone is trying to move towards that. And depending on what your need is, there are obviously, like I think you hinted at Lime, or there is SHAP, for example, which are used with even neural nets these days to understand feature importances and stuff like that. But what you use at the end of the day, I think that depends a lot on what your use case is. Not readily is everything that's available as open source directly usable for your use cases. So have to make some experiments initially to understand what's most suitable for the kind of the problem that you are trying to solve.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sip, for the explanation. Also, Ms. Sharmili. Actually, I asked the question just to give us a little more visibility on recommender system and how it works. And going back to the question asked by the SCITB, Mr. Alamshah, maybe, do you have like, theoretically, do you have like a system? How would you build a system that could actually help in global economic research?
Okay, it's a kind of interview question, right? Actually, for okay, if I have given this kind of problem, specifically for the global economic recession. Firstly, maybe like any kind of model that I built, that we built, maybe to the first thing that we must to do is to decide the problem statement first. Well, what is the problem statement? What is the really the thing that we want to solve here? Whether I don't know whether this kind of statement, like how can it help, how the machine learning can help supporting decision whether in the global economic, whether that kind of question is a good or not, we don't know. I mean, like, we need to really divine what is the what is the question that will be used, that will be answered with the machine learning. Let's say we have the question, the right question to answer this. The next thing, the problem statement, after we have the problem statement, the next thing is to like what Sharmili said, to break down all of the problem, whether which one that we can do with machine learning or not, which one is really can be used with machine learning, and then after that, let's say we want to decide, we want to know whether what happened in the future, if something happened, like certain factor happen, and then the global economics will the global economics will be will recession or not. So the thing that really important is we should know what is the factor that we can control, all of the factor that is impacting the global economic recession, and then the factor that we can control. I mean, like, whether we can control the I don't know, maybe the movement of the economies on certain areas, let's say, or maybe the how's the people power to buy something like that. Yeah, maybe we need to break down all of the factor, and it will be really many things, really long, and it won't be easy model, or it won't be really easy machine learning to do it. Yeah, for me, we need to know all of the factors, and we need to know how to whether this factor will change the global economic recession. So from that, start from there. Let's say we already have the model, not necessarily machine learning. I mean, like, we can create a model that can describe how the global economic recession. So yeah, after that we do have the, let's say we do have the model, and then we change the variable there, which variable that really, again, the question again, that the goal is to find which variable that we need to support, right, to make the global economic recession doesn't happen.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's actually interesting. And from all of your answers, I thought to myself, a lot of people are actually scared about machine learning replacing their jobs, but apparently, usually AIs are only good at doing one thing, and even doing that thing, we need experts to like infuse them with the knowledge,
Exactly.
right, to create decisions.
Yeah,
Yep, yep,
exactly.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
I said, to create such a good model for the global economic recession, we need someone who understands the global
yes,
economic
yes,
itself, right? All of the variables, all of the things that may be impacting the global economic, whether directly or indirectly.
yep, yep, yep. Maybe to you, Kabayu, because you're currently working as a CTO in an industry where people think that it cannot be replaced by machine, hospitality. What do you think about that?
Actually, this is a very what do you call it? A very personal experience for me and our company at Bukit Vista. So when we first time have an internship student from data science internship from UGM, this is actually the first thing that I want to be convinced about this data science and machine learning thing. How can really we use that, right? We already heard that, oh yeah, this will take over the world, and then this really good at forecasting, blah blah blah. But I really want to be convinced about this, especially from the business perspective, right? Because what we want in the end is a decision. What should we do with the company? What should we do in the company? What happened if? What should we do now? Usually the question is, if the company is doing good, what should we do now, right? And then this entire forecasting and then suggestion and then prediction. This actually looks like a new shiny tool for me. The first question that we really have to ask is whether we should use this tool because we need it and there's a problem to be solved, and or is this cool to have? Related to that question, Vidi, especially in our field, right, in hospitality. So the first thing that I can see that we can utilize machine learning prediction is a market price prediction. We want to be as competitive as possible. We should be offering the best value for our guests, the best content that they everyone can enjoy. But in the end, I think prediction is right, the action that we take is basically our own decision. So I think we are still in the stage of what do you call it? In the stage of suggestion engine. It's not decision making engine right now. We have seen that before with statistical data, right? We have a dashboard. Oh yeah, this sales is good. This sales is not good. We should do this. We should do that. Now it's replaced by machine. For example, there's an analysis that say just, oh, because of this trend, your company should do this in the next 2 months, for example. I think that part of the machine learning prediction that we can utilize to help our business, especially in the global economic recession where everything changes. No one actually travels anymore right now. We should be smart in using this technology, right? And we still don't know how actually, because of course the pandemic just start now, and we don't have any actual data from the past. So I think machine learning can be used to gather data and get an insight that businesses can use to offer unique value, basically for the niche target market, and this can be done by exploring the big market data, right? This could be used as a pivot to alternative business plan, for example. If it's not working anymore, what should we do now? I think companies can be agile in that sense, in the business side agile, not only in the software side agile. So I think I'm still pretty what do you call optimistic that we can somehow use machine learning to help businesses make decision.
I see. So that's his vision. Actually, it's related to the third topic. So maybe a lot of these audience here are students or maybe startups aspiring to be a big company, right? And maybe a lot of them are think of machine learning as this magic tool that can help them scale up or grow. And a lot of times, a lot of problems do not actually require machine learning to solve. But this is a huge misconception in the data science industry. Maybe, Ms. Sharmili, what do you think, like how to determine if a problem would be best solved using machine learning and where to start?
Okay, I think this is a very good question. In general, as you said just now, I mean, not everything
Yep.
needs to be solved by data science, right? So the first thing should be, is there an easier way to solve a problem? That should be the first thought. And if there is no simple rule based or any easy way of solving a problem, the next thing to watch out for is basically, are there patterns in the data which can be learned? So, data science models learn from what they see. If you feed it good data, it will learn well. If you feed in junk, it will output junk, right? So the first thing you really need to understand is how does the data look like? Is there any correlation between what we are trying to predict and the amount of data like what is the data that we have? Is there any kind of pattern that a machine learning model can learn to actually predict the thing that we are trying to teach the machine, right? I think that is the first thing. Then the second thing is there a good metric that you can define to understand whether or not a machine has actually learned what you were trying to teach, right? If you're convinced using the data that yes, I mean, I have the data, I can see patterns, and I want to train a machine to achieve this particular goal. The next thing is, can you formulate the goal in such a manner that you can actually optimize that? So can you bring your objective down to a metric that you want the machine to optimize using the data? That's the second thing. If you can then formulate a problem that has data and that has an objective which has been properly defined to train a model on, I think the third most important question is, do you have enough data? Most of the machine learning problems, especially if you're talking about deep learning, neural networks, CNNs, need a lot of data. So you have to be aware that you will need data, and it's not only about the amount of data, but it's also the richness of information that is available in the data. It's no good by repeating the same data over and over again, right? You can generate volume by just changing a little bit, or adding a little bit of more information, but to really solve it to learn, you need good amount of data. So I think these three are really important, and should be thought of very carefully, because when I say you need a lot of data, which means you need a lot of resource, not only in terms of money, but also in terms of human manual labeling team maybe, or you have to buy the data from some third party. So you need really to invest a lot of time, money, and energy in accumulating a good source of data to train your model. So that has to be a criteria which a person, like most teams, have to really think carefully before starting to jump the gun into just developing a machine learning model to solve a problem. And like most of the times, as you said, we can find subset of problems that can be solved without having to go through training very sophisticated deep learning models. But yes, of course, there are situations where you can't do away with actually having to train something and having to need a large amount of data. So I mean, be careful on choosing which problems to solve, and then if chosen properly, then go all out in acquiring the resources to do it.
Yeah, I understand that, but maybe a lot of actually a lot of my friends are starting startups. Most are from non-STEM background, and they look at the magic of data science from news. Maybe to Mr. Alamsha, if I am if I want to build a startup, how much data is enough data to, let's say, start building machine learning or data science department?
Okay. This is from my perspective. Yeah. Uh, uh, for me, it's not about how many data that you must check. to be your sign to start the data science team. But uh, I I think the way you look at it, if you are the startup and whether you need the data science team or not, you should check on your problem itself. I mean, like you should break down all of your problem right now. The problem that you have now. What is your problem right now that require the machine learning, or even maybe for now you need just the heuristic methods, not really the machine learning. So for now, or for the first start for the startup, I suggest to start with the first, go to the machine learning stuff, and go to the analysis and deeper on the analytics part, which we what yeah, again, what's the problem that you have, and whether the analytics can the deeper analytics can give you a correct direction, or whether a simple average or a simple median will help you, whether using the machine learning. Because if if we talk about startup, investment on the machine learning is quite expensive, because we are not really talk about the data only, but we also talk about the time that you need to develop the machine learning itself, to define the machine learning, whether which model that we want to use, how do we train it. Let's say you already have the enough data, let's say, but the infrastructure that you have is not enough to train your model, let's say. It's not, you need more investment on the infrastructure again. So that's why before you start the data science team or using the machine learning, I suggest to use the simple heuristic first, simple analytics first, because like what Sharmili has said, we need to understand our data, right, to solve the problem. So understand your data first, not about the amount, but about the quality of the data that you have.
Yep.
What is the how's the data being populated? How's the data being used for with the analytics team there, with the others? Because if you don't have that kind of good infrastructure in the beginning, the data science team will be hard to work with.
Yep, yep. Yeah, I think that's also a misconception that people, startups, small startup, maybe people who thought of machine learning as this magic tool have. They have to quickly get a data science team to scale up their business, optimally optimize all the resources they have. What do you think, Mr. Siddhartha? Do you have any additional opinions, or do you perhaps have a opinion that is different from Ms. Shami and also Mr. Alamsyah?
No, I guess I agree generally with the opinions shared. I think a big chunk of the time of a data science team goes into really understanding whether this problem is worth solving. Like, what is the return on investment? We spend time solving, creating a model. If, first of all, a model is necessary, a lot of the problems can be just solved maybe using preliminary rules. So looking at the data, spending time, and then going forward to trying out the models. I always suggest everyone that I meet, like, take the most simplest models that you can use. Try and see if it can give you any benefit. If the simplest model cannot do something, then probably going the complex way won't give you much benefits. First, start small, then slowly grow your model, maybe size or the type of the model, and try to use more complex models and gain a better understanding. So to start this process of ML, and also like for teams, I think spending more time on the data is probably the critical piece, and understanding whether there is there will be an enough ROI of the time we spend versus the impact it can create if we can come up with a data science model.
Yeah, I think it reminds me a lot with actually Kabayu is my CTO. Maybe a lot of you knows already, but Kabayu always said like this in our product development team: build something that is actually useful and something that we need in the company, not something that's cool. Do you remember that, Kabayu?
Yeah, actually, probably I said that a lot. Yeah, I think
Yes,
even
you said that a lot.
no, this is actually I think we have some. This is not related to the company. Actually, it's a fun debate between me and Jing actually about subscribing to, I think it's Tidal or something, right? As opposed to Spotify, right? So this is our discussion. Yeah. So Tidal is offering a better quality audio, blah 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 thing, right? So but we don't know if that would solve anything in the audio problem, right? Or the music experience problem. So that is kind of sparked this I don't know what is it called. It's mantra, right? If we want to have something, we want to do something, but it doesn't give us any benefit, then I guess why should we do that, right? I completely agree with Sid. Basically, we should prove it first. Start small, then iterate, and then prove that this is working. If no, then why should we continue with that? Yeah, especially if we are looking at the bigger scope in a company, right? Because it's not our time, it's not our money. I think the first question that we can ask is actually how much it costs in terms of effort versus impact. So how much it costs in terms of time and money when you do it manually, and will it be more beneficial when you do it, solve it using machine learning or AI? If you have the question there, actually, if you can answer the question, then you can just continue or not. So if you can program it, then program it. Why should we create something so complex to solve a simple problem, right?
Yep. So yeah, I actually amazing insights from all of our speakers. We got to know like what are steps, like literally step by step from Ms. Sharmili, and also we gain insight from Mr. Alamsha, and also additional insight from Mr. Sid, and also Mr. Bayu. I always call Kabayu. So Mr. Bayu, and maybe that's it for the third topic. Actually, we've come to the fourth section, which is which maybe a lot of audience actually waiting for, which is the audience topic. Here, one of my friend will share the Slido page, and I'm already seeing a lot of interesting question. Maybe for this session, we can answer maybe or 2 or 3 questions. So maybe to the speakers, we can give like short answers so that we can cover more question that a lot of people are asking. Okay. Here we see a lot of, we see some questions, and the number one question that actually really interesting. Thank you very much to Anonymous who actually proposed this question. A lot of people actually are hyped about data science, and they think that data science the hype will die down in the future. Is there a possibility to see the drop in job opportunities for aspiring data scientists? What do you guys think as practitioners of data science? Maybe starting from Mr. Alamsha.
In my opinion, actually, if for me in the future, it's not gonna be really like go down, like will die down. Maybe in the future it will be changed to the perspective, maybe for data science, because in the end we still need data. We still need information in general. We still need information to grow ourselves, to grow our personal, to grow our organization, to grow our business. because we need the information. Anyone who controls this information will control the world, something like that.
Yep.
So the way we transform information to insight, information will be go to the data. Unless we know another form of data, so from information direct to insight, we will still the data science or sort of a job, because like data, previously we know data analyst, we know about the statistician. In the end, we all trying to get the insight. We try to get the information from the data that contains the information. So for me, the whole hype will steadily go down maybe, but the function itself, it will be still there.
Yeah,
that's
I think so
me.
too. I think so too. Yeah, that's interesting. Like the hype itself is maybe because media hypes it and so on and so forth. But I think the function will continue to remain because information and data is still required, especially in this age of the digital era. And actually, that relates to the second question. Maybe I'll ask Ms. Sharmili. Do you think data science is just statistics with computer? I think a lot of people ask the same question. Do you have any answer for that, Ms. Sharmili?
If you want to think about it in a very high level way, then yes, data science is some kind of statistics, but even within statistics, you can go with very simple algorithms to maybe extremely complicated algorithms. So if only at the surface level you want to think about data science as a black box, and what is it doing is actually using the data to come up with some statistics in that way, in that sense of things. But if you go into the maths and get into the details, it is statistics. It is a lot other things also going on along with statistics, which is why data science is such a huge topic. And even like having spent years, like tens of years within data science, it is not easy to actually cover everything possible within data science. So if you want to think about it in a very high level way, yes, it is statistics, but there is a lot of things in data science.
Yeah, but then what makes it so special then? Maybe a lot of people who upvoted this question think like, if it's just statistics, then what's so special about data scientists? Why? Yeah.
So my feeling is data science is one of those fields which is evolving at a very high speed. Like every day there are so many papers in archive. There's the next technology. There's new cloud technologies coming up. There's new ways of doing, exploration. There's this data explainability. So I think this data science has been growing as a technology at a very fast pace. And it's very difficult to actually keep oneself abreast with what is happening across the entire breadth of the field. So I feel it is not merely statistics. If you have to be a data scientist, you have to know a little bit of math, you have to be a good engineer, you have to know cloud technologies, you have to know how to explore data. There are all kinds of skills that you really need to do your job as a data scientist. So it's much beyond being just statisticians.
I see. Thank you very much for the insight, Ms. Sharmili. Maybe that's an answer for those interested. And maybe the third question actually is quite interesting, and I think the answer could be really complex, but maybe I'll ask Mr. Sid for this one. It's another interview question maybe. Butterfly effect versus data science, who wins? How can data science be applied to systems that are inherently chaotic? What do you think, Mr. Sid?
Yeah, I'm still like trying to get a grasp on this question. Like butterfly effect, I guess, like for the audience, most people will know, like it's like a small change that gives very varied outputs, right? So, I mean, it's hard to take a call like who wins, because at the end of the day, you would want your systems, whatever you design, to be very robust. So smaller changes should not affect the output of systems. But I think like that's where the concept of like building generalizable systems comes into place. Like the machine learning models that you build don't overfit the systems to like small subset of the data, such that if there is a small change and then there are huge repercussions of that data. Instead, build systems that are more generalizable. But at the same time, like there are possibly some areas or some domains that are inherently chaotic. And in those cases, I think coming up with good quality data science models is a big challenge. For example, like if you see something like the user space in like marketplaces or say ads and things like that, there's a lot of data. People click on ads or people buy stuff. And those engagement of users are very regular events. But think about it like predicting earthquakes, for example, based on like a small signal. Earthquakes happen not very regularly. Yes, they are regular these days, but not as regular as to create like models that can help you understand them. Like still, till now, there are not like really good quality models that can predict an earthquake, right? So I think it boils down to like the kind of the problems that you are trying to approach and apply data science for. Not everything data science can come up with the best solution. In a lot of cases, I think you just need to remove like the data aspect from that and concentrate more on just the science part, and then you would probably come up with better solutions generally for those kind of problems. That's what my personal perspective is.
I see. That's actually a really deep question, and maybe Mr. Sid can talk for hours and answer. Maybe Ms. Sharmili can also answer for hours. But this is actually a really deep question. But unfortunately, we have another question that just went up. Maybe to Kabayu, what is the specific programming skills? For example, data scraping, data modeling, and basic understanding that we need to have on real life data science. So, what do you think are the skills required, Kak?
I mean, it depends on how big your organization are, right? Like if you're like us, basically like our team, you have to be able to do everything, right? And then but I think at least as a data scientist, you have to know each of them, each of the skills, and understand how if that person is, if you are not doing that yourself, if you are not doing data scraping yourself, at least understand it, how people are doing data scraping. So that will make it easier for everyone in your team to understand each other, what to expect from what to give to other people. I think that is a very good interpersonal skill. It's not your skill, but to understand what people can deliver. I think that is a really good skill in real life case where I think most of the people work in team, right? Not in a individual data science department, something like that. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much. Just from Bukit Vista, maybe we'll hear from Gojek. What specific programming skills do you think are needed to be a real life data science, Mr. Alamsyah?
Okay, everyone, most of the people who just start data science, maybe think like what programming that I do is only like I'm talking, creating the meeting or creating some creating documentation to make it better. But in terms of programming skill, yeah, I Bayu that that is depend the company, what is the tools that being used. The At least as long as you understand how to do the coding, or as long as you understand how to do the programming, I think it won't be really that difficult for you to adapt. Like how do you do the data wrangling, or maybe data modeling, that how to train the model, to how to deploy the model, how maybe some of the company using Kafka or Hadoop. You can start with that. You can uh, do research about what is the Hadoop, what is the Kafka, what is the MapReduce maybe. But in the end, in my daily life, I mean daily work, actually, I'm focused on how to make a data make a data create the insight, how to make that how to do the data wrangling, how to do the again how to connect how to connect the model that I already built to the production, how to do that. That's again, that's depend on the company. The challenging part for me, because I'm not from the computer science. I'm not from the I'm come from the mathematics, where I'm not coding, I'm not always do the programming. And then the challenging part is when I try to put my model to the product. That's really challenging. How to convince that how to convince the engineer, this is how you do it, how this is you cannot do that, something like that. So yeah, that's quite challenging to deploy, actually.
I see. Maybe a little bit from Tokopedia.
Most of the Keras is required, because if the purpose is to really use deep learning, I think that a lot. So people are expected to know these basic things. If you have exposure to some cloud technology, that gives you benefit, because then also a little bit. And basically at heart, you have to be a problem solver. You have been given this problem, these are the resources, how do you solve it? Basic the frame that I mentioned. Of course, if you look online, there is no dearth of tools that are out there. But if you are really starting, then these will be the basic ones you can start with.
I see. Thank you very much, Ms. Sharmili. Maybe a little bit more. Any additional skills you need to have as a data scientist, Mr. Siddhartha?
I guess most of it is covered, but a little bit around like retrieving data, for example, like on the cloud, if you have systems like BigQuery, so knowing how to run SQL to retrieve as soon as possible. That's, I think, one of the key skills, so that you have all the data and you start experimenting with whatever models you want to come up with. That's one of the, I think, necessary skills. What others have said, you just have to be solver. Things that you are using today, in like 5 years, those frameworks or the languages might become obsolete. Maybe we won't be using like Python 5 years down the line, who knows? Because there are always new programming languages coming up. But knowing how to write good code, scalable code, I think that always helps. Good understanding of data structures. very basic concepts around scalability, algorithms, complexity. I think those are some of like the initial things. If you know, it definitely adds on to your other data analysis and data science skills.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Siddhartha. And I think that answer concludes our questions discussion section. And again, thank you very much for all the speakers. We have amazing speakers here. I personally thank you very much. I learned a lot, maybe, and I believe all the audience here learned a lot. They're able to ask questions there. They all wanted to ask all along. Thank you, Mr. Alamsyah, Ms. Sharmili, Mr. Sid, and also Bayu for speaking in this seminar. And apologies if there are mistakes from my part. And yeah, I think that concludes the discussions. For everyone, all the audience, we're opening remote internship in Bukit Vista. Join Bukit Vista and disrupt the hospitality industry. And also, these are all the list of internship roles we offer. Yeah, we have front-end web developer intern, back-end web developer intern, UI UX designer intern, internal tools, software developer intern, and so on and so forth. And don't forget, we also have a survey for this particular seminar. Please fill this in so we can always improve and bring you guys speakers and professionals from all over the world. And also, this is the survey link, bit.ly/BV Seminar 2020. Don't forget to fill that up. I believe the team will will put it on the chat box. And yeah, maybe if there any of the audience here would like to speak at our next www.bukitvista.com/bv-e-talk and join as speaker there. Maybe, and also we already have our next schedule for BVE Talk 9 on December 2nd regarding the newest trends of customer experience and roles. So as you can see, we're discussing different topics in BVE. Don't forget to register for that one. And so don't forget to follow BVE Talk Instagram page, BVE Talk. Currently, we already have like 2 followers. After this, much more followings. Don't forget to follow our speakers LinkedIn. You can, maybe the speakers can drop their LinkedIn, or maybe if they're very popular, just search their name and the LinkedIn account will pop up. Don't forget to follow them. And I think that concludes our talk. Thank you very much, everyone. This is the session. Technically, the event is already over, but if anybody wants to like stay here and speak with our speakers, and also if our speakers would like to stay or leave, that's all allowed basically. And that's it. I officially end this session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Amazing. Hey, thank you, video.